Jeepers. I thought for a minute there for sure that towards the end he'd picked up someone else's introduction. I have to say that Marty and I worked together for many years, and he was my boss, and he was tough. I have to tell you, believe me, that's the nicest stuff I've ever heard him say about me. So it's a good start. So, Martin, thank you very much. My compliments to my fellow honorees, Richard and Eric. I'm very flattered and honoured to be sharing this evening with them. And thank you, Michael and Janice. Thank you, I guess, not so much for having me here tonight, although I am truly honoured. Thank you more for the work you do on behalf of the Jewish Community Relations Council of New York. The work that the JCRC does within and beyond its community is essential, and I'm really incredibly proud to associate myself with this fine cause and the fine people that you represent. And please also I'd like to thank my friends and colleagues here tonight. I know they all join me in the belief that a world less just than we would wish it to be needs organizations like this. Now, a colleague, knowing that I was going to be here this evening, mentioned a passage in the Torah that I think has some relevance tonight. It is from Exodus, after the Israelites are liberated from bondage in Egypt. These verses are part of a long list of rules intended to establish the basis for a just and equitable society. It says in English, I know you didn't expect me to try the Hebrew, paraphrasing in English, Exodus chapter 23, verses 2 and 3 go like this. You shall neither side with the mighty to do wrong, nor shall you show deference to a poor man in his dispute. Too often in our world, too many take sides with the mighty to do wrong. Sometimes less obvious, but equally pernicious, is an occasional modern preference for the weak without regard to what's right. Now, many voices lined up a few months ago to pillory Israel for fighting the tyranny and aggression of Hamas in Gaza. But these critics found fault not with the cause, but with the disproportionate balance in power. Israel, with its jets and tanks, was guilty of being strong. No matter the provocations or the absolute threat to its sovereignty and citizens, Israel, in many accounts of the fighting, was wrong because it could win. I would like to think Israel's sense of justice proper, which takes so much from the Torah, sets a higher standard. Nor shall you show deference to a poor man in a dispute. The Palestinians deserve sympathy, to be sure. They deserve support in their quest for justice. What they don't deserve, what none of us deserves, is a world in which there is no justice because there is no standard. Now, Israel is no more right for being mighty than it is wrong for being mighty. That same timeless standard set forth in Exodus should apply equally to the Palestinian side. Its cause isn't any more justified by its weakness than Israel's by its strength. Yes, Israel is a daunting military power, but its true surpassing strength is surely in its standards, in its sense of justice, in its belief in freedom. Standards we all here take for granted, which are endangered or extinct in many parts of the world. In 3 weeks' time in Geneva, it appears that elements of the UN Human Rights Council plan to take up where they left off previously in Durban, South Africa. That infamous meeting 8 years ago was notable for its attacks on Israel. This one promises more of the same, which is why it has been labeled Durban 2. An early draft of the conference communique tried to characterize Israeli policies as, and I quote, a new kind of apartheid, a crime against humanity, a form of genocide, and a serious threat to international peace and security indeed. In the months since that draft began circulating, saner minds have not prevailed. But an increasing number of nations are uniting against such bigotry. Already, Canada, Italy, and most recently the United States have said they feel compelled to stay home rather than lend credibility to this sham. One US official put it simply, we don't look at the text as salvageable. Now, I bring up the tragedy of Gaza and the misery of Durban too, not because I think you need to know my point of view. I bring these up because they bear on why we are here. We are here because the JCRC isn't just about New York or Israel or even Jews. The JCRC is about community and coalition, about dialogue and understanding. It is about helping communities transcend the suspicions that divide them by identifying their vital common interests and placing them ahead of their differences. I think we can all believe in that. We can share the JCRC's mission to bring divergent voices into harmony, and we can insist that the standard of justice be neither the province of the mighty nor the weak, whether in ancient Sinai, modern Israel, the halls of Geneva, or the streets of New York City. Thank you very much for this honor. Thank you.